Welcome back. Now, for those of you who think I'm jumping ahead a little bit in routing a bridge slot, a saddle slot on a bridge that doesn't yet exist, originally in this video I was going to be making the bridge, and it was going to be made out of wenge, still will be, but not this piece of wenge. I had a little bit of a problem in a previous video. I cut this the wrong way. I was hoping to get quarter sawn stock, ended up with skew cut. The video wasn't part of the build series. It was me processing down a huge lump of wenge. But I have more. I have a lump that I cut off the end, so I can still get quarter sawn bridge material. But I'm still going to use this piece because ultimately I'm going to end up with two bridges. I'm going to have the proper quarter sawn bridge, final bridge, and I'm going to have this turned into a dummy bridge. Now the reason I want a dummy bridge is because I'm going to attach it to the front of the guitar with magnets, and I'll have to remove material to compensate for the weight of the magnets, although I haven't actually checked yet whether these magnets weigh more than the saddle and the bridge pins. Maybe they don't. Maybe I'm going to actually be adding material to the bridge. But that will be for the next video. In this video I'm going to be going back and resawing that other piece of wood to get some quarter sawn material. I will be doing some thicknessing, I will be creating a router template, and then I will be cutting the slot. I always like to get the slot cut early in the process because it's so much easier doing it that way, and I think that's all we'll have time to do in this video. So let's get to it. Beautiful burnishing tool from BC Woodworks. I love this. Just make sure that the masking tape stays stuck. Perfectly quarter sawn. Let's do another one. Right, that's on 45, that's maximum. I have my prepared blanks now. This is for the actual proper bridge. This is the dummy bridge, and you can see the difference between the proper quarter sawn and the flat sawn done in error, although I quite like the look of that, I have to say. I have some more quarter sawn stock for when I need it. I have a 2mm veneer, possibly to use for bending practice maybe, I don't know, and a 1mm veneer for inlay, and that might be probably will be my end graft. So let's go and make ourselves a template for routing the saddle slots in these. In explaining this all to camera, I realised I'd got my dimensions wrong. I'd originally had this set to make a slot 12.8mm longer than I needed, thinking I needed to add in the width of the guide bush. I'd originally had this 83mm long. I've now got it set to 70mm, which is the distance I want the tiny little router bit that's going to route the saddle slot out. That's how far I want that to move. And of course, because I've got a router bit here, which is, it's supposed to be the same width as the guide bush, it's actually slightly 0.2 millimeters narrower. I don't have to worry about the extra distance of the slot. Just by having this move 70mm, I'll end up with a slot that's 83mm long, and that will give me 70mm of movement of the guide bush. So we only need this to move 70mm, and explaining that to the camera I realised I'd originally got it all wrong. So there's a good technique. Part of your measure cut, try to explain it to somebody what you're doing if it seems a little complex. But I think we're ready to route. Just double checking, that's giving us the 70mm of travel that we need. 90, 160. So I'll just raise that a little bit and go again. Problem I've now got is we've got a half-inch slot here, 12.7, but the bush, which is supposed to be a half-inch, 12.7, is actually nearer 12.9. This paper is slightly under 0.1 of a millimetre, so I'm going to move everything that way by the width of the sheet of paper, do it again, and we'll probably have to do that a second time. suppose I could put a sheet of paper in here to make the cut, but I'll move everything up. That's unfortunate. These are stopping this from moving. That's certainly improved the situation. I can now get it in the slot, but it's way too tight. There's no way I'd be able to move that. So we're going to have to go again. Perfect. Got my bridge blank, I've got my template, I've marked where I need the template to go. Guide bush, just need to get my route a bit, and I think we're ready to go. I'm going to use masking tape and super glue to attach this, and I should be able to clamp it at the end. I think there'll be room, keep everything stable. Yeah, we're ready to go. I've got the bit a little bit higher than I should, according to the mark on the bit. I've got it a few 5mm a little bit higher, because I need the clearance. With these short bits, it's always a problem to get them proud of the guide bush, but that should be enough to give me 6mm cutting depth. 6.5mm I think I need. So let's see how we get on with that. This collar, because there's play in the base deliberately, you have to use this registration bush to centre this plate, and I've already done all of that, so it just remains to loosen off these screws and put the guide bush in. Hopefully you can see that. All looks pretty good. I've got 1.5mm depth of cut, so we'll give it another couple of millimeters, and we're aiming for about a 6mm depth. 6.5mm, that's perfect. It puts me 3mm from the bottom of the bridge, so that's great. Although of course in practice this particular bridge won't ever have a saddle in it, but these are good. It's good to test these things out. At least I've got this set up perfectly now for the actual bridge. That all went quite well. I am very slightly skew. I didn't get the template in exactly the right place, and that is one reason why I like to do the saddle slot first, because I can adjust the position of the bridge when I cut it out and get it absolutely spot on. And I will be making the rest of this bridge in the next video, so make sure you hit that little notify button, make sure you don't miss any videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!